This is going to be a continuation. Christopher Columbus. Day by day. Christopher Columbus. That's right, motherfuckers. This is going to be a continuation from the last episode. If you bitches saw the last episode, go back and get it. That's right. You blurry motherfuckers. That's right. My roots, my DNA traces all the way back to Bigfoot. And he's blurry. And so am I. That's right. You motherfuckers didn't know that. Now you do, bitches. Yeah, so this is Day by Day Christopher Columbus. And he's in the Dominican Republic, Haiti area. He's just riding the coast in the Americas. That's right, 493. And so here we go. So from the last episode, if you guys remember, they got drunk. Christopher Columbus got drunk with these motherfuckers. That's right. They got drunk with these motherfuckers. And then the Indians, they took off. They took off down the canoe on some fucking, crazy water, right? And they were drunk. And they said, oh, maybe those motherfuckers died on the way there. That's right. Maybe they fucking died on the way there. That's right. And so, so Columbus is like, hey, let's go inland. Fuck them. Let's just go see. Let's go see what's going on over there. Let's go check out the water side. Let's check out the shoreline. Let's go see these motherfuckers firsthand. And so the Columbus went down with his people to the Indian village, and the Indian village was burned down, as they had mentioned. And they're like, man, they weren't lying. This shit is burned down. So Columbus was like, you know what? I told the guys to bury some gold. Check it around. Check it around. And look for some gold. Because look for like some loose dirt, I guess, right? They didn't have metal detectors. So Columbus had the Christians digging around by hand looking for gold. I don't know if they found any. But they went back inland to find this town burned down, and they're like, Columbus is like, well, we got to find a place to live around here. And they're like, okay. Some of us will go with you, and the other half will stay here looking for gold. And as they walked down the shoreline, they found an Indian village. That's right. Now this Indian village, all the people ran away. Look at Bigfoot's mouth. All the Indian people ran away. They're like, where the fuck are they going? And Columbus is like, well, since we're here, might as well go in their home. Check it out. So they went inside their houses. So, right? They went inside the houses, and they found a cloak, a Moorish cloak, that was still folded as if they bought it from fucking black Moors, right? The Muslim dudes that invaded Spain at one point, right? Well, they were still trading with them and hanging out with them, right? Some instances, right? They had a Moorish cloak, and they're like, okay, this is still folded up. Why did the Indians have this Moorish cloak here? Okay. Then they found an anchor. Hey, man, why the fuck they got an anchor in here? Yeah. It's like, are they pack rats? What are they doing with the anchor? Columbus lost an anchor in the first trip. And the fucking Indians had it in their fucking house. Like, yeah, memorabilia, I guess. And then the Moorish cloak and some stockings and some other clothes. They're like, well, why the fuck do all these motherfuckers have these kind of things? Oh, there's a wicker basket. Look inside that wicker basket over there, man. So they did. And there was a motherfucking head cut off. That's right. The fucking head was cut off. And they're like, okay. So they cut people's heads off, and they save them. But at this point, they already witnessed this quite a few times already, so they assumed that it was a loved one, like a mother, father, brother, sister, somebody, a good friend or whatever. They're like, hey, man, I don't want him to go away forever. Chop off his head, put it in the basket, keep it next to the stove, or next to the bed, or whatever they kept it. It's not very specific where they find all these things. Although, yeah, at some point they did, but anyways, let's move on. So, yeah, they found a Moorish cloak, they found the anchor, they found some stockings. The Christians from the first trip were still missing. And from Christopher Columbus's first trip, he left some guys there, and when he came back, if you guys aren't caught up from the last episodes, all the guys were missing, and they're like, "Where the fuck are these guys?" And everybody's like, "I don't know, man." And so now they find all these things, and they're like, "Well, they have an anchor. The Indians have an anchor, and they tell us that the Christians are still here, and they're fine and well, but the town is burned down. What is going on over here?" So the Christians went back to their ship, and they came out again the next day. They went back to the burned down village and discovered the Indians that were brave enough to come there and talk to these motherfuckers. That's all right. They're like, "Hey man, you want some of this gold we got right here? We got some of this gold right here. Come on over here, man. We got some of this gold for you, man. Come on." Christian's like, "Hey, what? You got gold?" Yeah, so they were hanging out and they were being cool, and then they're like, "Hey, do you guys know where our people are? Do you know what happened to them?" And there's like, "Yeah, they're dead." And he's like, "What do you mean they're dead? How are they dead?" He's like, "Yeah, there's like 11 of them over there in the grass. You know, over on that side right there. Yeah, the tall grass. There's 11 of your guys dead. They tried taking too many women, like 2 or 3 women apiece, into their houses, into their places. I know this is a free love society here in the Taino nation, right? There's a free love society here, but you're not allowed to take too many women at one time." So that's the story they heard, right? So they killed the Christians that were left on the first from the first trip. They killed them because they were taking too many women, supposedly. So that's the story we got, right? But it's not very specific what happened after that very moment. The Christians got, okay, so we gather so far at this point, from the last episode, Columbus and the Indians got drunk together on the boat. The next day, the Christians were waiting for the Indians to come back, but they didn't come back. So they assumed that the Indians had drowned from being drunk driving in the ocean. So they didn't come back, and so they went to inspect the land, and they found a burned down village. Then they came back to the boat, went back the next day, and then they found some people. And then they were trading gold with them, so everything seemed cool, right? Then these motherfuckers tell them that they're dead in the grass over there for taking too many women. So this is kind of weird. So what do you think would have happened at that point? Not specific. Do you think they slapped one of the Indians in the face? Or do you think the Indians told them, "They're dead over there in the grass for taking too many women"? They ran off. Who knows? But I could gather that they were just probably puzzled. The Europeans were probably puzzled at that point, like, is that what really happened? And we'll never know the relations between the two fucking people, the Europeans and the Indians, at that very point, right? But after a while, the Europeans got back into their ship and ride along the coast again to look for a suitable place to live. And they were greeted by some men in a canoe that told Columbus and his people, like, hey, you motherfucker over there, you and that fucking ship over there, come on over here. The chief wants to talk to you, guacamole. And so Columbus had some of his people. How about some smoke, huh? You gotta set the mood, that's right, you gotta set the mood. So, almost dropped. Is the volume still there? Fuck. Hello? What did I do? I lost the volume. Oh, there I am. Okay, I dropped the fucking Vocaster thing. The thing for the microphone. Okay, so what was that? What was I saying? Christopher Columbus. Oh yeah, the fucking guys that came with the canoe. Get this microphone close over here. So for the guys came from the canoe to greet Christopher Columbus and his people, and the Indians were like, "Hey guys, come and talk to Guacamole. He's waiting for you at the village." And Columbus sent a few of his guys, and then they went to the village and they witnessed the fucking Guacamole, the chief fucking guy over there, laying there with bandages around his legs. And then he said that they were attacked by other Indian tribes. And then the other Indian tribes killed the Europeans and wounded his leg and burned down the village. And then the guys were like, man, we don't know if we believe this, man. But, I mean, they believed it, but they weren't very sure, so they had to have Columbus. They went back to the ship to get Christopher Columbus to come back to talk to the guy and see if he could perceive the same things that through the hand gestures, you know? Because diversity is the weakness, right? Diversity in language and culture and all that shit, you know, you gotta assimilate. You gotta have the same common language, so things work out better, right? But they didn't have that at that point, so they had a hard time understanding each other. See, bitches? See what you did? So Columbus came and talked with the chief Guacamare, and he's like, yeah. I gathered the same thing that some other tribes came and attacked and burned down their village and hurt and wounded this chief Guacamare and killed the Christians. Okay, I understand it. Okay, but I have a surgeon here. Columbus said, I got the surgeon with me. He's right over here, and he could look at your wound and fix you up. And the chief's like, oh fuck, man, I don't know about that. But I guess it was written that out of fear, the chief was like, I guess so. Okay. And Columbus is like, well, step outside, motherfucker, so we could see you in the light. And so they came out to the light. And then the chief sat down. The surgeon unwound the bandage. And he's like, hey, man, you got no fucking wound here. You got a bandage around your leg, but there's no wound. And the chief's like, yeah, they hit me with a stone. They gathered. That's what the chief told him, you know, through fucking hand gestures. How do you hand gesture that? I don't know. So, I guess they gathered. He was hit by a stone, but why did he have a bandage on? Because he was fucking lying to him. And then, so at that point, Columbus and his people were like, is this guy fucking with us? He had a bandage on his leg. And there's no wound there. So, is he fucking with us? Is he lying? And our men are still dead? Gone? We found those men in the grass, they're dead? We got one story, then we got another story. And we're all hoping that the Christians are alive, but we found the dead. And so, what's going on here? And why is the village burned down? Why is this guy lying about a fucking wound in his leg? This is the thing that's going through the mind of Columbus and his people at this point. So everything was still cool at this point, mostly cool, right? And cool for those times, right? So I know you bitches are waiting for like fucking time when Columbus is like, I'm killing all of you motherfuckers. I'm putting you all to work. Well, there was a time that at that point, Columbus brought the Guacamare, the Indian chief, back to his ship. And then from that point, Columbus had a couple guys, 2 out of the 7 Indians that they brought from Castile from Americas to Castile on the first trip. Only 2 out of the 7 men had survived. And those 2 men became translators for Guacamare for Columbus on that ship that next night. And then at that point, Guacamare was cool, and he was like, hey, man, when are you gonna... Oh, no, Columbus is like, hey, how about if I start building, you know, some houses over here in your village? You know, I could live here, too, with you, you know? Guacamare is like, no, man. It's too dirty and too swampy in the area, and it's not healthy. Columbus is like, fine. We'll find another place. We'll go. And then Guacamare is like, when are you leaving? When are you leaving, bitch? Columbus is like, what'd you say? He's like, when are you going to head out? He's like, leave tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. And then, so the next day, Guacamare had some people coming, trading gold on the last day that Columbus was there. And on that day, the men with the canoe came, and they were trading lots of gold. And At some point, Columbus was going to Guacamare to thank him for all the gold that he had received from the Indians. And Christopher Columbus dressed up really nice. It was written down. He was just like dressed up like royalty. It was like, man, and then he went to go greet the Guacamare and give him thanks and stuff like that. And when I went back to Guacamare had tears in his eyes, and Guacamare guy was like, man, I'm so sorry that I had to see your people die. But at that point, they didn't know if he was lying or not. So anyways, yeah. So that last day, some Indians were coming to trade some more gold with Columbus and his people. And at that point, the Indians told the women, there was 10 women that Columbus and his people had on the ships at that point. And of those 10 women, they were rescued, supposedly rescued from the Carib, right? Remember those episodes? If you're not, go look at it. If you don't care, then go fuck yourself. How's that sound? Go fuck yourself. All right. So those guys came in a canoe and they told the women, hey, they told them in their language, jump off the boat and swim to shore. We could have a party tonight. Me and you, let's go. So all 10 women jumped off the ship, Columbus's ship, swam away from the Europeans. Some of them went on canoes and the other ones swam. And then the next day, Columbus was like, man, we got to get those women back. We fucking rescued them, and now they're part of our crew, you know? And so the next day, Columbus and his people went back to the Indian land where Guacamare was lying about his wound, and they found the Indian village completely empty. That's right. They're like, these motherfuckers move around a lot. Look, they're gone again. This time, they fucking got the women. They took a woman and they just disappeared. I could see them right now in a restaurant, having fun, laughing and shit like that, going to carnivals. That's right. You don't know what you got until it's gone. So yeah, the broads, they jumped off the fucking boat. So things are weird at this point, see? On this second trip back of Christopher Columbus' second trip, things are fucking weird, okay? You understand that, right? The fucking weird things going on here. That's at least what's written here, right? So, anyways, that's it for this episode. I don't have time to fucking do pictures and shit like that. I got a lot of shit to do. You know, work's calling for fucking a lot of crazy time to be had. And I just have no time to fucking sit here and look for fucking pictures of people. I mean, you all know what Christopher Columbus looked like, right? And you know what the Taino and the Caribs look like, right? So I gotta put that shit there. And if you don't like the fucking visual, fuck it. Go fuck yourself, right? I don't give a fuck. Don't subscribe. Don't fucking thumbs up. Get the fuck out. This place ain't for you motherfuckers. Is that all I'm gonna say? I think so. All right. So that's it. Adios. So yeah, that's Christopher Columbus come, on his second trip. Things are starting to get a little bit weird here. I just wanted to point that out. That Christopher Columbus didn't come here and just start fucking beating people up and fucking stealing people, right? There's like weird shit that was going on, right? And so you could see he was friendly with them for the most part. We're gonna get into that, You all fucking hate it because you want to hear other shit. But I'm just showing you moments of strange moments that these people were witnessing. I got an espresso machine last night. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so anyways, that's it. Subscribe and thumbs up, and if you don't like this, you can send this motherfucker to your motherfucking enemies. That's right. That's it. Adios.